Hey everyone, welcome back. If you're new here, my name is Alex, 28 years old, graphic designer, living in a quiet suburb just outside Columbus, Ohio. Nothing special, just a regular guy who likes coffee that's too strong, horror movies that are too loud, and long drives that are too long. I've been posting on this channel for about 2 years now, mostly sharing creepy stories people send me, but this one is mine. And I'm still shaking while I record this. The trip started on a Thursday in early July. The plan was simple: drive down to the Great Smoky Mountains, camp for 5 days, hike some trails, take photos, unplug. I'd done the same route twice before, so I knew every gas station, every weird roadside diner, every stretch of nothing. I even had my Dashcam running the whole time like always. It's one of those cheap 4K ones that loops every 3 hours unless I hit the save button. I mostly use it in case some idiot cuts me off and I need proof for insurance. The morning I left felt normal. Too normal, maybe. I woke up at 6 a.m., made coffee, fed my cat Milo, threw my backpack and tent in the trunk. The sky was that perfect summer blue, birds were loud, neighbors were watering their lawns. I waved at Mrs. Carter across the street like I always do. She waved back, but she just stood there. Water running over her flowers, hose in her hand, staring. Not smiling, not frowning, just staring. It was probably only 5 seconds, but it felt longer. I shrugged it off, old people, right, and pulled out of the driveway. The first 2 hours on I-71 South were boring in the best way. Podcasts, gas station burritos, sunshine. But little things started bugging me. Like, the radio would cut to static for half a second at the exact same mile marker both times I passed it. Not a big deal, just weird. Then at a rest stop outside Cincinnati, I went to the bathroom and every single stall door was open except one. I could see feet under it, bare feet, dirty, pointing the wrong way, like the person was facing the tank instead of the toilet. I waited. Nobody came out. After 2 minutes I just used the urinal and left. When I walked past again, that stall door was wide open and empty. No one around. I told myself it was nothing. Around noon I stopped at my usual spot, a little family diner called Daisy's off the exit in Dry Ridge, Kentucky. I've eaten there every trip. Same waitress, Donna, always calls me sugar and gives me extra fries. But that day the parking lot was almost empty. Only 2 cars, mine and a rusty gray pickup I didn't recognize. Inside, the place was dead quiet. No radio, no chatter, no clinking plates. Donna was behind the counter wiping the same spot over and over. She looked up when the bell rang, and her smile was off. Too wide, like she was forcing it. She didn't call me sugar. She just said, "Sit anywhere, hon." Her voice sounded flat that I took my usual booth by the window. The menu was sticky, same as always, but the ketchup bottle had a perfect handprint on it, like someone pressed their whole palm in ketchup and then wiped it clean except for the outline. I stared at it too long. Donna came over, poured my coffee without asking, and when she walked away I noticed she was barefoot. White waitress shoes, but no socks, and her feet were filthy, black on the bottoms like she'd been walking on asphalt for miles. I looked around, no other customers now. The gray pickup was gone. Just silence so thick it felt heavy. I ate fast, paid, and got out of there. My skin was crawling for no real reason. I told myself I was just tired, maybe coming down with something. I hopped back on the highway. That's when the one clear moment happened that I still can't explain. About 30 minutes south of Dry Ridge, traffic slowed to a crawl. Construction, I thought. But when I crested the hill, there was nothing. No cones, no workers, no reason for everyone to be stopped. Just a line of cars dead still in both lanes. Engines off. Nobody honking. I rolled my window down and looked around. Every driver was staring straight ahead. Not on their phones, not talking, just staring. Like statues. I checked my mirrors. Same in the cars behind me. A woman in a red SUV 2 cars back had her head tilted at a weird angle, mouth slightly open, eyes wide. I felt my stomach drop, then, out of nowhere, every single car started moving again at the exact same second. Engines turning over like someone flipped a switch. No one looked at each other. No one sped up to fill gaps. Just smooth, creepy synchronized driving, like we were all remote controlled. I glanced at my dashcam. The little red light was blinking like normal that I floored it, past everyone, and didn't slow down until I hit Tennessee. That night I camped at a little site off the highway. I was exhausted, but I couldn't sleep. Crickets were loud, but every few minutes there'd be this total silence, like the whole forest just held its breath for 5 or 10 seconds, then everything started again. I kept checking my phone, no service, which is normal there, but the battery dropped from 87% to 41% in 20 minutes while the screen was off. I lay in my tent listening to that weird silence pockets until the sun came up. Little stuff, right? Nothing huge. But it all added up to this feeling, like something was watching the whole time, waiting for me to notice that I had 4 more days ahead of me, and that was only the drive down. If you think that was weird, wait until you hear what the dashcam caught when I finally watched the footage back home. Hey guys, welcome back to part 2. If you haven't watched part 1 yet, go do that right now because what I'm about to tell you builds directly on it. Those little weird moments on the drive down, they were just the beginning. By day 2 in the Smoky Mountains, I was starting to lose it. Everything felt wrong, and no one around me seemed to notice. Let's get into it. I woke up that first morning at the campsite feeling like I hadn't slept at all. The weird silence pockets from the night before stopped around sunrise, but my phone was dead even though I'd charged it in the car. Whatever. I made coffee on my little camp stove and decided to hike the Alum Cave Trail, about 5 miles round trip, nothing crazy. The parking lot was half full, families, couples, the usual. I locked my car, double-checked the dashcam was still recording, and hit the trail. Halfway up, I started noticing the staring. Not casual glances, full-on staring. A guy in a red baseball cap stood on a rock overlook and just watched me walk past. Didn't look away when I nodded. Just stared. 10 minutes later, I saw him again further up the trail, same spot, same pose. Impossible. I sped up. Then a woman with 2 kids stopped dead in the middle of the path and turned her whole body to follow me with her eyes as I passed. The kids did it too. No blinking. I felt my heart racing. I told myself it was a coincidence, maybe I looked like someone they knew. At the cave, I sat on a log to catch my breath and eat a protein bar. That's when my phone buzzed, first signal all morning. 3 missed calls from an unknown number and 1 text from the same number. The text just said, "You shouldn't be alone." Nothing else. No name, no emoji. I stared at it for a solid minute. I called back, straight to a generic voicemail. I texted, "Who is this?" and got nothing. I showed the message to an older couple sitting nearby. The guy just shrugged and said, "Probably a wrong number, son. Happens all the time up here." His wife smiled the same flat smile Donna had at the diner. I put my phone away and hiked back down fast. Back at the car, another text, "We like your blue tent." My tent is blue. I looked around the parking lot. No one close enough to see my sight from here. My hands were shaking as I drove back to camp. On the way, I called my best friend Jake. Told him everything, the staring, the texts, the creepy drive down. He laughed and said I watched too many horror stories on YouTube and needed to chill. Drink a beer, man. You're in the mountains, not a movie. I hung up feeling stupid, but not better. That afternoon I went to the little camp store for ice. The ranger behind the counter was new, I'd never seen him before. He scanned my stuff and said, "Site 27, right Alex?" I froze. I never told him my name or site number. I mumbled yeah and asked how he knew. He just smiled and said, "You look like an Alex." His name tag was blank. I grabbed my bag and left. Outside, a family was unloading their car right next to mine. The dad looked at me, tilted his head exactly like the woman in the red SUV from the highway, and said, "Nice trip so far," in this flat voice. I said yeah and basically ran back to my tent. Night fell and that's when the footsteps started. I was sitting by my campfire, trying to relax with music on my portable speaker. Around 9 p.m. the crickets went quiet, total silence again. Then I heard it, slow footsteps circling my tent. Crunch, pause, crunch, pause. All the way around. I grabbed my flashlight and yelled, "Who's there?" The footsteps stopped. Nothing. I unzipped the tent door fast and shone the light everywhere. Empty. No prints in the dirt. I sat back down, heart pounding. 5 minutes later, footsteps again, this time closer to the fire. I jumped up and swung the light. Still nothing. I texted Jake again, "Someone's walking around my tent and I'm freaking out." He replied instantly, "Dude, it's probably a raccoon. Stop texting me scary stuff, you're ruining my movie night." I turned off the fire early and crawled into my tent, zipped it tight. I kept my knife beside me like an idiot. That's when the phone calls started. Same unknown number, over and over. I let it go to voicemail. 10 missed calls in 20 minutes. Then a new text, "Answer or we come inside." I didn't answer. Another text 2 minutes later, "We can wait." I turned my phone off completely and lay there in the dark, listening. Footsteps again, slower this time, like someone dragging their feet. They stopped right outside the tent door. I held my breath. After what felt like forever, I heard faint whispering, couldn't make out words, but definitely more than one voice. I didn't sleep at all. Morning came and everything looked normal. No footprints, no signs anyone was there. I packed up fast and decided to drive into Gatlinburg for the day, just to be around people. At a coffee shop I tried telling the barista about the texts and calls. She handed me my drink and said, "Signal's weird here, hun. You'll be fine." Same flat smile. Everyone had it that I spent the day walking around town, but I kept seeing the same people. The guy in the red baseball cap from the trail was at the aquarium entrance. The family from the campsite was in the same store as me, twice. Every time I looked up, someone was watching. I felt like I was being followed, but whenever I turned around fast, they'd be looking at their phone or the sky like nothing happened. By evening I was a wreck. I drove back to camp because I didn't know where else to go. As I pulled into Site 27, my headlights lit up my tent, and there was a handprint on the outside. A perfect, dirty handprint right at the door, about shoulder height, like someone pressed their palm against it while I was gone. The dirt looked fresh. I sat in my car with the doors locked for 20 minutes staring at it. My phone buzzed back to life, another text from the unknown number, "Welcome home, Alex. 1427 Oakwood Lane." That's my address in Ohio. My full home address. That I grabbed my stuff, threw it in the car, and peeled out of there. I didn't stop until I was 2 hours away. I kept checking my mirrors the whole time, convinced someone was following. My car felt wrong. Like it wasn't just mine anymore, that handprint on the tent. I took a photo of it. It's still on my phone. And when I finally got home and checked the dashcam, guys, you won't believe what was waiting for me. Stay safe, seriously. If you're wearing headphones, maybe take one out for this part. I'm serious. This is the night I almost didn't make it home to tell you this story. After I fled the campsite, I drove until the tank was almost empty and my eyes burned. Around 3 a.m. I pulled into a deserted rest stop on I-75 in the middle of Kentucky. Just one of those small ones, 2 bathrooms, 4 picnic tables, a single flickering streetlight, and woods on every side. No other cars. No semi-trucks. Nothing. I figured I'd lock the doors, recline the seat, and crash for 2 hours until sunrise. My phone was at 4%. The dashcam was still plugged in, red light blinking like always that I killed the engine. Instant silence. So quiet I could hear my own pulse. I locked the doors, double-checked them, and tried to calm down. My hands wouldn't stop shaking. Every shadow outside looked wrong. I kept checking the mirrors, empty, empty, empty. I closed my eyes for what felt like 10 seconds. Then I heard it. A soft tap on the rear windshield. Tap. 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 Slow. Patient. Exactly 3 taps, pause, 3 more. My eyes snapped open. Nothing behind me in the mirror. Just darkness and the orange glow of the streetlight. I told myself it was a branch. Wind. Anything. Then the taps moved to the passenger side rear window. Tap, tap, tap. Same rhythm. Like fingernails. My breathing went shallow. I didn't move. I stared straight ahead, afraid to turn my head. The tapping stopped. 10 seconds of nothing. Then the driver's window right next to my face. Tap. 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 I couldn't help it. I whipped my head left. There was a face pressed against the glass. Pale. Eyes wide open, unblinking. Mouth slightly open like it was trying to taste the window. The streetlight lit half of it, the other half was swallowed by shadow. It wasn't moving, just staring in at me, nose flat against the glass, fogging it with every slow breath. I couldn't tell if it was a man or woman. The hair was long and wet looking, stuck to the cheeks. I screamed. I've never screamed like that in my life. My foot slammed the gas pedal even though the car was off. The figure didn't flinch. It just stayed there, eyes locked on mine, breathing fog onto my window in perfect, slow circles. I fumbled for the keys. Hands shaking so bad I dropped them on the floor mat. The face tilted, slowly, like it was studying me. Then it lifted one hand, palm flat against the glass, fingers spread wide. Exactly like the handprint on my tent. I finally got the key in the ignition. The engine roared to life. Headlights flooded the parking lot. The figure was gone. The window was clean. No fog. No handprint. Nothing. I floored it out of there, tires squealing, doing 90 the whole way to the next exit. I kept checking every mirror, expecting to see headlights behind me, but the road stayed empty. My heart felt like it was going to explode out of my chest. I didn't slow down until I hit a 24-hour Walmart parking lot with bright lights and a dozen cars. I sat there until the sun came up, doors locked, knife in my lap, watching every person who walked past. When morning finally came, I drove the last 4 hours home on pure adrenaline and gas station coffee. I didn't stop once. I told myself it was over. I was safe. I'd delete the dashcam footage, block the number, and pretend none of it happened. I was wrong. I'm posting this video now because I need you to see it before something happens to me. See you in the last part. This is the end. If you've made it this far, thank you. And I'm sorry. Because once you see what I'm about to show you, you won't unsee it. I got home to Ohio around noon the next day. My house looked exactly the same, mail piled up, grass a little long, Milo the cat yelling at me through the window. I thought the nightmare was over. I was wrong. First thing I did was plug the dashcam into my laptop. 5 days of footage. Over 40 hours. I made coffee, sat down, and started scrubbing through it, looking for the rest stop face, the handprint, anything that would prove I wasn't crazy. I found things I never saw with my own eyes. Night 1, the synchronized cars on the highway. Every driver's head turns toward my car at the exact same second. All of them. Like someone pressed play. The diner parking lot, the gray pickup is there the entire time I'm inside, but when I leave it's gone, except the dashcam shows it never moved. It just disappears between frames. The campsite, every single night, starting at 3 a.m., the same tall figure walks a slow circle around my car. Never gets closer than 10 feet. Never leaves footprints. You only see it when the video is sped up 8 times. In real time it's invisible. The rest stop face at the window, the camera caught it perfectly. But here's the part that broke me, the figure isn't outside the car. It's inside. Standing in the back seat the whole time, leaning forward between the seats, staring at me while I slept. The window fog and the tapping were just extra. I threw up in my kitchen sink. I called the police the same day. Showed them the footage. The officer watched about 30 seconds, went pale, and said they'd look into it. 2 days later a detective came by, took a copy of the files, and told me, "We've seen stuff like this before. Glitch in the memory card. Deepfake AI. Don't worry about it." He wouldn't look me in the eye. My family thinks I had a mental breakdown from stress. My mom cried and begged me to see a doctor. My boss gave me 2 weeks paid leave but said if I kept talking about ghosts in my car, I'd lose my job. Jake, my best friend, stopped answering my texts after I sent him the backseat clip. I quit my job anyway. I sold my car. I moved to a new apartment on the other side of the city, 3rd floor, security building, no camping allowed. I don't drive at night anymore. I don't hike. I don't even like leaving my apartment after sunset. I triple check locks. I keep every light on. I sleep with my new dashcam pointed at the front door, recording 24/7. I watch the footage every morning, just in case. It's been 4 months. I thought I was safe. Yesterday morning I was watching the overnight recording like always. Nothing for hours. Just empty hallway. Then, at exactly 3:17 a.m., the hallway light flickers once. A tall shadow slides across the wall outside my door. It stops. The peeks around the corner, straight into the camera lens. No face. Just blackness where a face should be. It raises one hand and presses its palm flat against the lens from the hallway side. A perfect, dirty handprint appears on the glass, from the outside. The timestamp is yesterday. I live alone. 3rd floor. Locked building. No one has a key except me. I haven't left my apartment since. So here's the question that keeps me awake, the one I need you to think about after you close this video. If that thing was in my back seat the whole drive home, and it already knows where I live, and it can get into locked buildings, what's stopping it from being in this room with me right now?